Welcome back to Rocket Ships 49. Remember to thank all your current servicemen and women and all your veterans. Today we're going to talk about short barrel rifles and AR-15 pistols. Do you know the difference and what you're allowed to do with each? Two things that can help determine if this is a short barrel rifle or an AR-15 pistol. First is the barrel length. This barrel length here is only about 11.5 inches. And you can also see there is no stock on the buffer tube. You need to know what you're able to put on that buffer tube. That's the big difference that makes this either an AR-15 pistol or a short barrel rifle, and that's where you can get into trouble. One of the first measurements you need to be aware of is the barrel length. In order for a firearm to be considered a rifle, the barrel length needs to be at least 16 inches. As we stated before, the barrel length on this firearm is only 11.5. The other issue you can run into is putting a stock on this buffer tube. Once you do that, that changes this pistol into a short barrel rifle. In most states, you need to register and be pre-approved to be able to make that conversion and legally have this firearm with a stock on it. So you need to check in what state you live in, what your laws are, to make sure you're not committing any type of crimes. Depending on which state you live in, it may not matter what you want to do with this rifle. Some states ban SBRs or short barrel rifles altogether. Doesn't matter what kind of paperwork you try to complete, they're just banned. According to my online research, we all can assume the internet is not always correct, about 42 states allow short barrel rifles, and there's 8 to 10 that either strictly prohibit short barrel rifles or have very strong restrictions on owning short barrel rifles. Most of you are probably familiar with the terms shooting brace or shooting stabilizer, which, unless you have this properly registered, depending what state you live in, are the only attachments you're allowed to put on the buffer tube. You're not allowed to put a stock on here. I personally have gone shopping for shooting braces or stabilizers because I thought it'd be a cheaper option than paying the fee to have this registered as a short barrel rifle. But I've gone in the firearm stores where there's 8 to 10 AR-15s lined up on the wall, some with shooting braces and some with stocks, and I probably guessed wrong on about 50% of them what was considered a stock and what was considered a shooting brace. At this point, I'll probably never personally own a shooting brace because they are also somewhat expensive. So at this point, I choose to just save up my money until I have this properly registered as a short barrel rifle, and then I will put a stock on it and make it legal. Probably the cheapest option you could still explore is that they manufacture padding that goes over the buffer tube. So I don't know if it's really designed to do so, but you can shoot it more comfortably without the impact of the buffer tube, without any kind of padding on it. It's definitely cheaper than having the AR-15 pistol registered as a short barrel rifle or buying the somewhat expensive shooting braces. I'm going to attempt to put a few cutouts of shooting braces and stocks on the buffer tube of this AR-15 pistol, just to give you an idea what some of the shooting stabilizers and braces look like. They look like stocks. In my opinion, they can be the same as a stock. They can be shouldered. It just depends how you use them. That they're not designed to be shouldered, but there's very little differences, in my opinion, between a brace and a stock. That's really all we have for today. But if you're in the AR-15 pistol game and short barrel rifle area of interest, make sure you know what you're doing before you put the wrong stock or brace on your pistol and get jammed up. It's not worth it. And especially depending on what state you're in, the penalties can be pretty severe. That's all we have today. Remember to teach your children firearms safety and education. And thank you for tuning in to Rocket Ships 49. Stay tuned for more videos.